hopefully.
Give a welcome.
All right, hey, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is September 20th, 2017. We thought we would take advantage of the fact that we were going live a minute ago, and it got completely cut off while we were doing a video that was really important. So I thought that it would be of value to do it all over again in a separate video. It's the only way we could come back into this stream. So I know it's going to take a couple minutes for you guys to get here.
This is going to get, just watch it later. Watch it several times.
Right.
Black Lives Matter shows up at this mother of all rallies of Trump supporters.
Right.
And they were there to protest. And this man, he's there with his family. He's a Christian guy. Things change. They start talking. The Holy Spirit falls. Love falls. The left wants us disunited. But God wants us to come together. It's really exciting.
Right. So I'm going to set Leah's phone down here in a minute, and I will pull it back up so that I can get to the chat. So I can just focus on this video to give you guys a real reaction, because I think this is amazing. We only got like 2 minutes in, and then it cut off. It was really weird.
What happens when Black Lives Matter shows up at a Trump rally? BLM activists went to the mother of all rallies. Trump supporters were showing up in D.C. People were saying, you know, just ignore them because they were there to disrupt.
Right.
You can imagine people were upset.
This is America. If they don't like that, that's their problem. Let them come on over.
No one expected what happened next.
All right.
It's about freedom of speech. It's about celebration. So what we are going to do is something you're not used to, and we're going to give you 2 minutes of our platform to put your message out. Now, whether they disagree or agree with your message is irrelevant. It's the fact that you have the right to have the message. I am an American. And the beauty of America is that when you see something broke in your country, you can mobilize to fix it.
And they cheer him on.
So you ask why there's a Black Lives Matter? Because you can watch a black man die and be choked to death on television and nothing happened. We need to address that.
I want to stop this here because I find it really interesting because the crowd booed. You want to know why? Because Trump supporters aren't the people that he needs to be talking to.
Right.
These Trump supporters love everyone, and if they see a black person who's been choked or if they see a black person that's been hurt by police, they will stand with anybody who's being discriminated against or hurt.
Agreed.
You need to fix it. We are not anti-cop.
Unfortunately, he's speaking for all Black Lives Matter people.
Right.
And I just tweeted out a guy who walked up to the police with an F the cop saying, shoot, just come at me or shoot me or whatever, and they pepper sprayed him. So there are several Black Lives Matter people who are anti-cop.
We are anti-bad cop.
And
we say if a cop is bad, he needs to get fired like a bad plumber, like a bad lawyer, like a bad fucking politician. We don't want handouts. We don't want anything that's yours. We want our God-given right to freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
I had goosebumps.
I want to leave you this and I'm going. You're right, my brother. You're right. You are so right. All lives matter, right? But when a black life is lost, we get no justice. That's why we say Black Lives Matter. That's why we say Black Lives Matter. And we really want to make America great. We do it together. All right. USA!
kind of restored my faith in some of those people, because when I spoke truths, they agreed. I feel like we made progress. I feel like two sides that never listened to each other actually made progress today. Did I expect to go on that stage? No. I expected to come down here, stand here with my fist in the air in a very militant way, and to exchange insults, maybe some dirty looks, or
and
who
now
knows
they're
what.
having
It's not on a
conversations.
grander level, but just person to person. You know, I think we really made some substantial steps without either side yielding. Yeah. I hope that they understand that one of the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement is a proud American and a Christian who cares deeply about this country, who cares deeply about the people in it, whether they are documented or not. I want them to understand that we are educated, right? That we apply a strategy, but we come from a place of love, right? And we really are here to help this country move toward a better place, not to destroy it. A man who controls a 4,000-member militia shook my hand and said, I always knew I identified with you, but today solidified it. Wow. One of the heads of Bikers for Trump came up and shook my hand, asked me to take a picture with his son. Little blonde head.
Why is this not covered on the media? We know the answer to that.
Enemy to someone they want to take pictures with their children, and that's the power of communication. We came out, we were going to chant, we were going to do a demonstration, but we didn't have to. We just spoke. It worked. I'm happy about that.
Okay, this needs to be shared everywhere. And I want to address something, and I haven't had a chance to do the comments because I was just getting Leah's phone back up and it wasn't going, so I missed a lot of them. I have to go back and check them out. But here's the thing, guys. You can tell when George Soros has bussed in paid protesters when it is violent. You can tell when real, legitimate Americans that may disagree show up to protest. You can actually have a conversation, and it doesn't have to turn into violence. And that is one of your biggest false flag, you know what I mean, flags.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how you can tell when it is a false flag, when it does turn into the violence, because real people can actually talk and have a conversation. And we have been saying this on Resistance Chicks forever.
It's never been white against black thing. It was more elites versus middle class thing. Exactly. This happens all the time. Oh, sorry. Well, they'll be back. Sorry, that was our thing. All lives matter. We had the same color of blood. It was great. That's the lie of the left.
I think John was talking about something else in the conversation there.
Sorry, guys. Sorry we went black. Actually, my phone just died because
we keep it charged. We keep it hooked up to this portable charger, and apparently it wasn't charging the whole time.
Yeah,
so Leah's phone literally just died.
But actually, we're kind of glad about it because I'm hoping that this video might get out to a few more people. I love to see the left and the right come together. I love to see people of different views come together and talk things through.
Mama Donna says, truth is no one likes crooked cops. But you can't throw every cop into the same basket. There are some good cops. Not when they're giving me a ticket, but there are some good cops.
There are some good cops. And it kind of boggles.
We know them. We have one of our friends who just so happens to be African American. He's a black guy. He is a detective for the Cincinnati Police, and he is amazing. He's a Christian. He's a righteous man of God, and he is a police officer. And I trust his judge of character. And he has talked about the people that are on the same force as him, and they're good people. So if he says they're good people, I say they're good people too. Right. At least the ones that are on the force with him.
We know bad cops. We grew up around bad cops. We know them personally. Our dad was part of the FOPA Association, Fraternal Order of Police, and getting people off drunk driving and things like that. So there are definitely bad cops. My dad's girlfriend was a cop. I'm not saying she was a bad cop. She was actually a very good cop, per se, but she never stopped our dad from driving drunk, so kind of a bad cop in that perspective.
And I have to tell you, a lot. Somebody had said on here, that not all whites hate blacks. Whites don't hate blacks, but blacks hate whites. If you don't know that, well, I don't know what to say. I have to agree with you 100%. I was just today, literally, I have a story from today from my own personal life. I take my uncle to the gym 3 days a week. He's disabled, and we get him out there to do his little exercises. And I was leaving to go get the car to turn around and pick him up. And this black girl was coming at me. She was coming into the gym, and she flashed me this beautiful smile, and I flashed her a smile back, and I had this yellow flower in my hair, and she's like, I like that flower in your hair. And she had that cool hair where they can pull it back, and then it gets huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so cool. And as soon as I saw her, I thought, man, I like her hair. So she was like, I like your hair. And I was like, I like your hair. And it was really cute. No, black people don't hate white people. Okay, there are some black people that hate white people. There's some white people that hate black people. It's just true. I have to tell you, only one time did we experience reverse racism. And that was down when we were...
South. It's really hard. Seriously, there is racism in the South. I mean, living in Cincinnati, we had East Side, West Side, kind of a big deal. But when I went to Rhema in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma for 5 years, I would say there was a huge portion of the students there were black, and I had never entered my mind. Racism was never a thing, and it was never a thing there. I mean, I had so many wonderful black friends. It didn't even dawn on me that they're black or white. There was one, we went to some black people put on a party, and they just have better food and lots of food.
Lots of fried chicken.
Some of my friends, you know, we learned a lot of things. Never ask a black woman if her hair is real.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it.
You can tell her she's got good hair,
but don't ask her if it's real. So I had a lot of black friends. I had one, though, from Mississippi who he said... They kind of shocked me. He said that the churches in Mississippi were totally segregated, and here we are, where a huge population of our church and our school is black, and it boggled my mind, because it's the Bible Belt. Christianity in the Bible Belt and here, you know, it's not necessarily as segregated, and if a black person shows up in one of our churches, everybody's like, it's excited.
Black person,
oh my gosh, we have black people here.
That's right. And they're like, we got the black people in our church. That means our church must be happening.
The only way a black person's going to a white person church is if they're charismatic. Otherwise, white people churches are just too boring.
Yeah.
For black people.
Right.
They're just boring.
Yeah.
And we had a few educated black people at one of our churches that they showed up to. You know, they were more educated but everybody else goes to the fun churches that are dancing and singing and, you know, things like that.
And then they always get the positions up in the music
They're
ministry
always
because they got rhythm
the choir
and they can
leaders.
sing. Yeah. So, you guys, these are real people. Real people showed up and talked to other real people. That is what the mainstream media should be covering, and they're not. You'll notice that the Mother of All rallies didn't really get much coverage because there wasn't violence. And they're not going to cover the non-violence because that doesn't sell.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the Trump people have a lot of really good points for the Black Lives Matter people. Why, if you care about black lives, why is it that you only seem to care about the criminals that get shot by the police?
Right.
Why don't you care about the fact that the abortion...
black on black crimes.
The blacks, yeah. Why don't you care about people being murdered on the streets every day? Why don't you care about the fact that I believe it's over 50% of black babies who are conceived are never born?
Right.
And
it's black genocide.
It is, and what boggles my mind is that when Christians say that, when Caucasian Christians say that, black people are like, well, you don't really care about black people having their kids. Actually, we really do.
Right.
We want you to have your baby. We want you to raise your baby. We want you to put your babies up for adoption if you can't have them. And what's also interesting is that a lot of our personal friends have put their money where their mouth is. We have a dear friend who adopted a black baby. I have another dear friend who is fostering to adopt, I believe, 2 black children.
With the neighbor lady down the street that's a good friend of ours. Her son is like, what, 12 or 13 now? He's black. They're white.
So, and I don't believe that the answer for I don't believe the answer is adoption. I want moms to raise their kids. I personally want moms to raise their kids. I want to see black men marry these women. I want to see them on farms. I want to see them growing their own food. I want to see them owning their own business. I want to see them happy and healthy.
Right.
You know, some of our dearest friends are black people, and we love going to their church. They're anointed. They're filled with the power of God. But I do understand that it's not about the color of the skin, but when somebody primarily with a certain skin color, like the refugees coming into Europe, act a certain way, then
right.
people start to view those people as a certain way. If you haven't been exposed to, you know, if
as a pet sitter, it kind of reminds me of pit bulls. We pet sit for some of the sweetest pit bulls on the face of the planet.
Right.
But because the worst damage that was done to people from dog bites was done by pit bulls because their jaws are just that strong, pit bulls got a bad rap. They actually are not, little known fact, more predisposed to become violent dogs.
It's how they're raised.
But they have the power to be more dangerous. A little Chihuahuas are more prone to be violent. Dude, if they were big dogs and could bite like pit bulls, then sure enough, give the pit bulls that
I've only been
label.
bitten by a golden retriever, and that was breaking up a fight. They didn't try to bite me. The only dog who has ever tried to bite me was a Chihuahua. I don't like them.
No, the Chihuahuas, man, they're violent. They're
Pet sitted for
violent.
Rottweilers and everything. The only dog that bit me was a Chihuahua.
They're nasty little thing. I gotta tell you. So my point is, that's what we do, and you know, almost rightfully so, though. If the pit bull is, then you do need to be a little bit more cautious. So when you're talking about the Muslims, they come in and they are doing more damage, then you need to assess, okay, how do we look at this? What is the truth?
You see the young men who are already coming in, and you see them as a group. You see, if 1 out of 10 is raping people on a regular basis, you know, we already covered Sweden, where they don't have enough cops to even investigate.
So I have a question here. When we talk about the black on black crime, and he made a really good point. He said, listen, when the black people get shot, these criminals get shot by a police officer, and it isn't unjust or whatever, he said that no justice is done. My question, and it's an honest question, is this: do we see justice done in the black on black crimes?
I don't know.
Do the black people get arrested more than the cops, per se? I mean, I'm just asking. It's just a question. I don't know.
That is such a great question. Is there justice? Is there justice?
Because I'm going to assume in the black on black crimes, a lot of it's going to be gang related.
And not everybody gets convicted.
Do the cops go in there?
Why should you protest the whole city, and like in St. Louis, why should they break windows, burn cars? Because the cop does it. Why don't they ask for justice? You know that they're not all getting justice. You know that because half of Chicago be in prison right now.
Right.
Right, and so, you know, there are some good Black Lives Matter people, just like there are some good cops and bad cops. I really like how you said that. That was a really good point there. Red Wolf with 2 Ds.
So I think we can sign off this episode here and finish up our other live stream. Thank you guys for sticking with us and coming back. I'm sorry, technical difficulties. You guys are very loyal. I want to take a chance to thank the moderators that were here tonight. Amber, I think, popped her head in. I'm not sure she's still with us. I like what Otto says.
I think Black Americans are victims of a fake forced culture that serves only to disable them.
True story. John Petter, Gary, Will was here briefly. Justin, worth a look. And Michael, here from Poland, he said, we're killing him, staying up all night, or getting up early, or whatever. I'm sorry. This is just what we can do. So
we'll see you Sundays at 1 Eastern time.
Yes.
For European news.
We will. Yes, exactly. And I do need to wrap up with that too. We go live every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we go live every Sunday for our European and UK news at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. So you guys can find us there. We go live almost every day now, it seems. But you just never know when. That's like a, lucky crapshoot. I don't know if you can catch us. But most of you guys are actually very, very loyal.
It's hard to talk about things when you haven't been in their shoes. Black people scammed by politicians are the victims.
Very true. Very true.
I think the best thing to do is to just talk things through. I mean, I had a friend of mine, a white guy, who went to a black church, and he was surprised about how many black people were voting for Hillary Clinton. We all know how evil she is and how corrupt she is and how she would sooner throw a black person under a bus, but we use them for a vote, and how they can't see through the lies. And I think that we do need to pray, and we do need healing between Black Lives Matter and Wayfaring Stranger. Really?
Somebody asked for it the other day.
That's kind of a sad song.
We can still sing it.
Mom wanted an uplifting song, I'm sure, the other day.
They asked for it. They get what they ask for. You guys are very loyal. Okay, so somebody had asked for the other day, Wayfaring Stranger. This is a song that Lee and I do like to sing, so it is kind of sad, but it's a good song. It's got a good tune, and you guys can stick around or you can head out.
It'll be sung with a country accent because it was on the Cold Mountain CD.
And that's
with
how we learned
bluegrass,
it.
right?
It was.
Okay. How you gonna start?
You started out.
I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world alone, but there's no sickness, toil, or danger in that fair land to which I go. I'm going home to see my father. I'm going home, no more to roam. I'm going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. I was gonna start lower. That's why. You sing it.
No. Let's just start a little bit lower.
You start it. You just sing it.
I know dark clouds will gather around me. I know my way is rough and deep, but beauteous fields lie just before me, where God's redeemed their vigils keep. I'm going home to see my mother, no more to roam. I am just going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. Now you sing that first verse. Give him your best shot.
I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe, but there's no sickness, no toil, no danger in that fair land to which I go. I'm going home to see my father. I'm going home, no more to roam. I'm going home over Jordan. I'm going home, no more to roam.
Yeah, hot dog. That was good. You got a good vibrato in there.
Something like that.
So there you go. When you ask for it and we don't practice it, that's what you get. But you guys like us anyway. Okay, so I think we covered all the business. I'm going to, Otto had told me that he had the link for our interview with him and his brother on Primer Time from last night. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to leave it in the comments of, or not just the description of the last several videos that we've done so you guys can go and grab that. So thank you all for being with us. Black Lives Matter, and they do matter, and there are injustices that do happen to Black people. Let's establish that, and let's not deny it, and let's address those issues and work together with them to solve them, okay? We really can join hand in hand, like in this video. So I'm super excited about this. I want you guys to share it, so, not just our video of it, but share the actual video. So I'm going to leave that also in the description of this video. This is Leah Michelle.
Signing off.
For Resistance Chicks.
We're not a conspiracy theorist, it's the truth.
Like, comment, subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God bless.
Black Lives Matter. All lives matter.